Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Dr. Glenn Vo. Welcome to another episode of the Nifty Thrifty Dentist Podcast. Before we get into this next episode, I'd like to give a shout out to one of our premier sponsors, Renew Digital. If you're thinking about getting a CBCT, maybe a digital pan, you don't have to buy new. Buy refurbished, certified refurbished with Renew Digital. You can save so much money, and we have a Nifty Thrifty deal. Visit them and ask for the deal. Guys, I am so excited to have this guest on. Number one, he's a super dad. Number two, he is like a dental connector. And number three, he's an overall good dude. And he's here to give all of us the hookup when it comes to labs. Because look, man, labs, whether you like them or not, they're an integral part of our practice. But Rick is here to change your mind on how your relationship is with your lab. If you don't have this type of relationship with your lab, you're going to get it with Rick and his lab. Rick, welcome to the Nifty Thrifty Dentist Podcast.
You are too kind. Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. It's an honor to get to work with you, my friend.
Man, I mean, look, you're so busy. You're everywhere. You're giving so much value to everyone. I know we're going to talk about the lab, but before we get into that, there's an origin story, right? It starts somewhere, and you have been a part of dentistry for quite some time. And I have to ask you, why did you want to work with us crazy dental professionals, man? Let someone pull you into it. Like, let's start there. Like, how did you get involved with working with crazy dental professionals like us? Because you got to be a little crazy, right? But you also have to be really giving as well. And the giving part, I'll give you that. Like, bring so much value there. But what motivated you to want to work with folks like us?
You know, it's such a great question. I had no idea what I was getting myself into back in 2019. It was January 2019, and I got approached by my good friend Chad Rasmussen. He said, "Hey, I need you to go talk to my good friend Brian Ferry. He's doing this thing with airway and dentists. You go check it out first, and then if it's good, let me know." So I went out and met with Brian at his home, and he started to talk to me about obstructive sleep apnea and the epidemic that it is, and that this amazing, Dr. Dave Singh had identified the underlying cause to obstructive sleep apnea and had figured out a solution to that with a potential end date, rather than people being on the CPAP forever. And so anyway, I started to learn about all this stuff, and he dubbed the treatment called pneumopedics. And what is pneumopedics? Pneumopedics is the physiologic remodeling of the upper airway via naturally occurring and treatment-induced changes over a specific period of time. And so I dove in. I started to learn everything about airway. Got on board with traveling all over the world with doctors and dentists, and got involved with Dr. Gordon J. Christensen, got on his cruise, and just started doing some amazing things, working with Dr. Michael Bennett. And then I ended up taking this, treatment protocol all over the world, and just had an amazing time doing it, and realized, man, these dentists, they're so important. Yeah. They're so important. They're so key to healing. And also they're entrepreneurs, and they're awesome, and they're fun, and they just want to have and provide an amazing service to everybody. And so I just fell in love with it.
I love that. And it's definitely continuing in the lab space with who you're with, like Valeria Labs and Peak Dental Studio. And the one thing that I was just so excited about is when we sat down and we talked, and he told me about the labs that you're representing and that you're working with and the people behind it. You didn't say, "Hey, I got this one lab and this is the price and that's it. And if it doesn't fit in your practice, so be it. You can just leave." You actually said, we actually understand that in the dental professional, much like our country, right? There's a product and there's a service and there's a price point for everybody. And I want to ask you about that, like, because again, it's very rare to find a lab that has all the services and all the products that makes it really inclusive of everyone. There's certain labs that are like, okay, this is for your bread and butter and that's it. We have this lab and it's really is all high end and that's it. But what you've done is you created like a platform, labs that can really take care of all dentists. Talk about why that was so important to you and your partners in this venture to have not only just one product for one type of practice, but really you have like multiple products that can actually help everyone in the industry.
Yeah, so really where this kind of transitioned into the lab space for me was I was working with, like I said, Dr. Michael Bennett, and then back in May, his son approached me, and actually Vivos ended up buying his lab. He'd owned his lab for like a decade, and they ended up
Yeah.
buying it. And he ended up, coming over here with Peak and the Valeri Group, and he said, "Hey, Rick, um, we're doing this amazing thing. We want to have you part of this." And they brought me over, and it's been amazing. So Peak has been doing this for over a decade as well. And what we realized is that there's an opportunity to provide like a local lab feel, but
Yeah.
also be able to scale it out and offer incredible pricing at the same time. And I think where a lot of people miss in this space is providing exceptional customer service and exceptional communication. And those are the things that, I've told our team here where we're going to win is in this ability to provide incredible service, make it feel like it's this local lab that they can actually get an immediate response. And so I've just done this really cool thing where I tie the dentist with the technician, with myself, with customer success, and they are absolutely loving it because they're not left waiting, 24, 48 hours to get a response. They get it virtually immediately. And so they just feel heard and seen. And then they can have their turnaround time. And if we have to do a remake, because not everything's perfect, if we have to do a remake, it because of the way we communicate, it all flows so fluidly that there's just resolve.
Well, and the one thing that I keep on hearing right away here, right, that's resonating with me is that you're talking about communication. And I'm going to be honest with you. Look, I've been a dentist for almost 20 years, right? And when you say good communication in lab, it almost is like, what did you just say? Because it's almost kind of like saying going to the DMV and being seen right away, right? It doesn't make
Yes.
sense, right? And unfortunately, right now, to the detriment of us, because you and I travel a lot, TSA and fast is not like hopefully things will change, but TSA and fast doesn't go hand in hand. And the
Yep.
fact that you said lab and communication there, um, talk about talk about why that's so important because honestly, that's not the case. There's little communication, there's a lot of back and forth, there's a lot of inefficiency there. Why is that so important to you guys? Because again, it is something that is it probably takes a lot of work on your end, right? And if the status quo has been, you know what, sometimes the dog's gonna have to wait. They're gonna have to wait like 48 hours, 72 hours to get a response. Maybe it doesn't make sense financially. That's why they operate that. I don't know. But why is it so important for you guys to really go against the trend of what the labs have been doing for years? Why is it so important for you guys to change that? Because honestly, it might end up costing you guys a little bit more money because, of having all the people be really on top of things. Why is that so important to you guys?
Glenn is so important because when there is a remake that needs to happen or there is a delay, the patient is blaming who?
Us.
The dentist.
Yeah.
They're not blaming the lab. And I think that that's where there's a big miss is this understanding that, look, we are an extension of who? We're an extension of you.
Yeah.
So if we're late, if we're causing a delay, if we're causing, any type of mishap there, it's not so much a reflection of us as it is of you. And then that ends up hurting your brand, your relationship with the patient. We understand that. We don't want that to be the case. We want you to win. We want you to be the hero. We'll be the hidden, the hidden partner behind the scene.
Yeah.
We don't need that. You do, right? And when you win, we win. And that's all that matters.
So let's go into like the products, right? So again, I've kind of talked about how you have a full service lab and you have there's a product for everyone from the high end, very ultra high aesthetics and cosmetic cases to the bread and butter dentistry where the aesthetics is not as much as price is probably a little bit more important. So talk about the offerings that you guys have. And again, after you talk about that, talk about like when someone reaches out. Obviously, we're gonna talk about best way to reach out and work with you. Um, where do we go at that point? Let's talk about that, but let's talk about the offerings. What do you guys offer? I mean, obviously, we talked about Crown and Bridge and whatnot, but you said that it's a full service. Do you offer everything? Talk about those things.
Yeah, we really do offer everything under the sun. And so on our peak side of things, you can really look at it as we have like an economy and premium class, right?
Okay.
And so on the peak side of things, we're going to have incredible pricing. And really, because of the way that we're doing this with our affiliates and our associations through our group, right? We're going to be able to offer group pricing for dentists that may not necessarily be part of a big DSO or a
Yeah.
big group, right? And so that's the benefit of being able to work with somebody like you and those that we're also associated with in our group is pricing. And so we have our everyday bread and butter through Peak, and then we have our Pacific line, and that's going to be your very, very high detailed, high craftsmanship art, and it's a beautiful, beautiful work. And so our labs are Japanese trained technicians, and then we have also on the other side of it, the very high craftsmanship that's being done. That's right here in the heart of, Santa Maria, California. And
Yeah.
so our turnaround time is 2 weeks. 10 business days. If we do need to escalate something, we can. If it's done through your digital scanner, it's really probably going to be done in 8. And so our turnaround time is great. And it really just boils down to the relationship. Like you said,
Yeah.
the relationship is key. And we have a 97+% retention rate
Wow.
uh, and doing this for over a decade.
Yeah.
So this is the place you want to land if you want to have incredible service, incredible communication, and incredible pricing.
And so when people reach out, we're going to talk about what's the best way when they reach out. How do they figure out where to go in the ecosystem of your lab network? Is that something like you guys doing onboarding and you kind of understand like what is important to them? How does that work? And talk about how that personal touch is kind of what separates you guys from the other labs out there.
Yeah, number one, it's super easy to create an account with Peak. Um, you basically just go to our, peakdentalstudio.com. You'll click on partnership, and then literally it's just going to walk you through creating the account, doctor preferences, connecting your digital scanner, and then we receive that information. You're gonna get a beautiful welcome kit. You're going to get your pricing. If you're associated with one of our affiliates, you're going to put in your affiliate code and just make sure that you get that from whoever your affiliate is so
Hmm.
that you get that special group pricing. And even if you're not on our special group pricing, our everyday pricing will still outcompete just about anybody anyway,
Yeah.
right? So it really is a win-win for everybody that ends up coming over and working with our group over here at Peak Dental.
All right, Rick. So we you already told us about your story, why you're working with all us crazy dentists. You already told us why you should work with the lab. But man, you are on the Nifty Thrifty Dentist Podcast. And I'm not going to let you get out of here without offering us a sweet nifty deal for all our doctors. What can you do, my friend? What can you do for us?
We are so honored and privileged to get to work with you and the team at Nifty Thrifty, and just the amount of potential
Yeah.
that this has with your group is it's unbelievable. So what we're going to do for you guys, for all of the followers and members of Nifty Thrifty is we have a couple options here. You are either going to get your first 5 full crown zirconia at no cost,
What?
just to give us a try.
What?
Okay. Or maybe you do your own crowns in-house. So if that's you, then you can do that or a $265 value towards any lab of choice through Peak at absolutely no cost just to give us a try. But you've got to use the referral code Nifty Peak, all caps, all together. So Nifty Peak, all caps, all together when creating your account through peakdentalstudio.com. And you got to make sure you get that link through Glenn, and then you'll get that discount. And then not on top of that, you're going to get incredible group pricing just for the Nifty Thrifty
Special Nifty pricing. So Rick, I have to say something, man. You already said it. It's already on video. No takebacks. All right?
Okay.
No takebacks.
No
5
take
free crowns to try them out. No takebacks, guys. You heard it here first. And that's what I love about this. And Rick is, man, he is bringing the value. He's over delivering. Look, guys, by the 5th crown, if you haven't been convinced, I don't know what else will. All right. I mean, you might need Rick to just personally deliver the crowns to you, but 5 crowns, that's unheard of. Rick, thank you so much for the nifty deal. Again, guys, there's no takebacks. The man said it himself. We got it on video. 5 crowns there. There you go. I love it. Rick, thank you so much.
Thank you, Glenn.